Welcome to No Small Roles. This is the show where I speak with fellow actors about their careers and about some of their smaller roles in big movies and TV, and how these roles are in fact not at all small for the actors who play them. Now, today's guest is the one and only crazy hilarious, unique talent, amazing character actor, and co-host, or the host of Stump the Bill. This is Mike Rad. Everyone, welcome, Mike Rad.
Hello. So happy to be here.
Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
It is my pleasure to have you on this lovely Sunday. So, everyone may know you, or most likely do know you from many, many, many things. I'm going to go through a short list of your many credits.
Okay.
Fame LA, The X-Files, ER, Walker, Texas Ranger, Buffy, The Vampire Slayer, Charmed, Malcolm in the Middle, Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place, American Splendor, Shoot 'Em Up, Monk, The Nanny Diaries, Legends, Marry Me, I'm a Cat. Are you?
No, that the girl was the cat.
Okay, spoiler alert. But I want to get into that. Them. And many other credits, but also The Shrink Next Door, tons of indies, and you do stand-up, you're a surfer. And now into my first question. And this is usually where it gets a little emotional. And I just hope, did Bill tell you about this?
No, he did not.
Do you, I'm just going to jump into it. Do you prefer grilled cheese with or without tomato?
Without.
Without. Always?
Pretty much always.
Do you like tomatoes ever?
I do like tomatoes.
They just don't go together.
Salad. I love Jersey tomatoes.
What's a Jersey tomato? It's like the cow? Or that's a Guernsey?
No, it's much sweeter, we think. But when you grow up with it, it's a taste that you can't be matched.
Oh, because you are from Jersey.
Jersey, yes.
Like Bill from Stump the Bill.
Like Bill, yes. We are both Jersey people.
Do you know each other from Jersey?
We do not.
Okay, it's an LA thing.
It's an LA thing. Actually, it's New York SNL thing because I knew his boss, Steve Korn, as one of my best friends.
Okay. Oh, well, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But now you are yourself in LA.
Yes. I've been in LA since 1991.
Oh, okay. You beat me by 7 years, but then I left. Yeah.
Okay.
Were you on SNL, or you're just your friends?
No, my friends were on SNL, so I would go all the time, and Molly Shannon goes, "You have to meet this guy, Steve Korn." So I met him. We became friends. He would come to all my shows, and then I introduced him to his wife because she was in my show.
Oh my God!
So there you go.
Has that worked out? They're still, I mean, not
so
to get
far.
Personal. Okay. Knock on VHS tape.
Yeah,
okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I have to ask you, you having watched a lot of your stuff in the past day, did you audition for SNL? Because you seem like you would be so perfect.
No, I didn't. I wanted to, and every time I did my show, when I did a show I did a stage show at the NBC for NBC Space in New York, and Marcy Klein didn't come, and I put everything into it when they came. Other people from SNL came, but it didn't happen there. And I think in retrospect, when I was young, I didn't push it the way I should have, but I was down to the final person on Mad TV.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I thought that was going to be my step to SNL, and then I didn't get it. And then
but it is something that you wanted.
I wanted it really bad. Now I've aged out where I know how it works, and I've been there through the whole weeks, and I know how the show works, and I love the show, and I just go, I will host it one day. That's all.
Okay.
I'd be happy to get happy to get like a guest sketch, like you're on a show hot, you're in town and you get that. That would be a bucket list thing to do.
I think there's hope.
But like there has been things in the past on the show that have been sketches based on me.
No way.
Yeah.
Do you want to I mean, can you tell, or do you want to tell?
Well, I could say one time I was at dinner with Will Ferrell, and
Okay,
and I think it was Molly Shannon. I think we were with Drew Barrymore. I'm not sure. This is very name droppy, but this is like in the
that's
90s.
fine.
And we were there, and I had just booked the TV movie Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, I was wondering what that was. I don't even
Yeah,
think I
with the
mentioned it.
original cast, like it was a TV movie.
Okay.
So Will Ferrell kept making a big deal about it. He goes, Mike Rad's in the Dukes of Hazzard. And then I kept going like this. So I was playing off of him going, up top, higher, higher. And I kept making names while we high-fived. So when Norm left SNL, Will did a bit with Colin, with
Yost?
no, with Colin Quinn.
Okay.
And he kept going up top, doing the whole thing. And then he goes, hey, I based that on our thing, you know.
Oh, that's
He
kind of
kept doing
cool.
it to him and stuff. So that was one thing, you know.
And you get residuals for that.
No, I get nothing.
I know. But you have friendship. You got friendship from it.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. That counts.
I mean, they're cool. I love those people, but, you know, absolutely love them.
Now, taking it a step backward before we got into that, how, or not how, but you're a smart guy. You've lived, you know, East Coast, West Coast. You've been in LA for several years and you wear glasses. So clearly you're very intelligent. Why are you an actor?
Oh, easy enough. I grew up in New Jersey, did plays, loved it. My uncle was an actor, and he didn't start. He was the dean of biology department at Hunter. He was a
Okay.
Princeton guy. He went to Princeton. He knew Einstein. He knew the Beautiful
Oh
Mind
my,
guy. He knew all those people. Like
yeah.
he had you know, like, but then he became an actor after he retired. So he went to HB Studios with Herbert Berghoff and Uta Hagen, and then
Oh,
he
wow.
had me go there, so I could study there for free because I was taking the subway from. I was taking the train from New Jersey, so
Yeah.
I just had to clean up the theater, and they let me take classes for free. So I was really into it, and my parents were into it too. So my dad pushed me a little bit, but I wanted to be a pro surfer first. So I moved to Hawaii to be a pro surfer, and then I got injured, and then I lost my sponsors, and the tour just what you know when you have 6 months to recover, and you're at that like trying to be at that level, they got so
Yeah.
much better than me, and I just couldn't catch up. So I was like, oh, I can't compete on that level. I don't have a regret about it. I
Yeah.
go, okay, I tried it. That's what I wanted to do. It didn't work, not to my, you know, it wasn't
Sure.
my fault. And then I just immediately moved to Hollywood and started.
Well, how does a guy from Jersey decide they want to be a surfer? Is there a good surfing scene in
There's a good
Jersey?
surfing scene in New Jersey. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm
It's
in
called the
Connecticut and there's
ESA,
not.
East Coast Surfing Championships, and then you compete all through Jersey, and it's seaside, where you know Jersey Shore was. Manasquan Inlet's really good, and it can be a
Okay.
good. And there's a place in Point Pleasant, which is a world class wave, Jenkinson's, when it's good.
So
It's a
were you
world.
all you were competing already in
Yeah,
Jersey?
I competed all through high school and middle school. I think I started competing at like 6th grade.
Oh my gosh.
And then I went and then I competed in college when I went to North Carolina at Wilmington. I competed there on their school team.
Because I live on Long Island Sound, there's a lot of great whites around these parts.
I
Was that
surf
a
a lot in Long Island. I surf East Hampton and I surf Montauk a lot.
so
I
there's
surf.
Sharkies. The shark anything?
Yeah, but
Any
you know,
I know.
who do you
It's
know
the
who's been eaten?
I saw it in a movie. There was
Yeah,
this
I know.
yeah, this
I
kid.
know. I met a guy in when I was in Kauai, and the guy goes to me. I was behind a window, like a serving window in a
Mhm.
cafe, and my boss came up because I was working cafe side job while getting better
Yeah.
from the healing from my
Mhm.
injury. And he goes, "Oh, here's a guy you'll meet, one of the few survivors of a shark attack." And I go, "Oh, really? Where'd you get bit?" And he lifted up his arm and he had a hook, you know, like a one of those prong things.
Oh, no
I was like,
way.
"Oh."
It really happened.
Yeah, and it was in my backyard where I lived.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay. I
I
mean,
was like,
I know
"Oh, okay."
we're not their kind of food, but sometimes So what was your injury if it was not a shark attack? What happened to you? If you don't mind
Oh,
talking
no,
about
no, no.
that.
I don't mind at all. I had I was training really hard and I got a hernia.
Oh, God.
And
Okay.
then it wasn't that big of a deal because I was surfing all day and coming back and lifting weights and stuff. And then I felt it on the bench press pop. So then
Oh,
this is when you're young, 20, you have ego for
yeah.
surfing. I had an
Mhm.
ego and I had friends coming to visit. So I told the doctor, I said, hey, can I still surf? And he goes, before I get the surgery. And he goes, yeah, but just take it easy because, don't surf big waves. And we had a 20-foot swell and I wanted to show off in front of my friends. So I wiped out and all my, this is really gross, but all
Do it.
my
Do
stomach
it.
intestines went down into my sack and it was like that.
Oh,
And
God.
I paddled to the channel, laid on the back of my board and pushed it back up. Then
Oh,
I got to
no.
it shows you the will of how you will, like those movies, like cutting off your arm to survive or something like
Or
that.
like Lethal Weapon when Mel Gibson hits his
Yeah,
shoulder into the
yeah.
thing.
It's one
Oh,
of those things that you will do. You don't realize you have it in you. I got to the beach and then passed out. But
that.
because I
Oh.
ruptured it so bad, they had to do staples across the thing, and it was before they did laparoscopic, because this is 1990, I believe.
Yeah.
So they did that. And then that took a long time to heal because I ripped all the muscles on that wipeout. I wiped out on a 20-foot wave where I went over the falls and just slammed onto the reef.
Oh, my God.
So I was just like, oh, I just screwed myself.
Was that devastating? I mean, because this is serious business for you. I mean,
Yeah, it was devastating, but at the same time, it gave me an out.
you wanted it out.
Yeah, it was hard.
I'm sure it was.
Like I enjoyed surfing, but like competing at that, like I wasn't sure I was able to make it. Like I was talented enough. I was like, but
Mhm.
I was driven to see if I was. And
Okay.
then, so I don't know, like if I was really good, like dominating like the amateur levels really good, then I'd be like, I mean, I was at the top of my game, but
Mhm.
I wasn't like the guy. So if I was like the guy and then coming up, then I'd be like devastated. But I was like,
Yeah.
I might make not the main tour, but like the B tour, which at that
Yeah.
time was the Bud tour. Now it's the Challenger series. I
Okay.
might have had a shot to make that. I don't think I would have made the main tour.
So then you chose the very easy business of acting.
Well, first, what helped me
Yeah.
in acting, this is the crossover where
Yeah.
was I go, okay, I can't do this, but I want to get respect. So I'm going to surf big waves. Right. And this
Mhm.
is before they invented the inflatable vest, before they had jet ski assist, which they have now, if you've seen in the movies, where you can get
Uh
towed. If you use
okay.
a
Yeah.
jet ski, you can surf bigger waves and they're there to rescue you quick so you're not underwater. So we did it all with breath control, holding our breath, nothing, no saving. Like you're going to die if you drown.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did all that. And I, I thought I was indestructible then, so I was going for it.
Mhm.
And the one thing I learned is when you're paddling for a wave, when it gets that big, it moves that much faster. So you never want to get caught inside. So when you're paddling out, there's channels in Hawaii where there's no waves. So you're going out and around and then you can surf. You couldn't duck under one of those because it's too big. But
Okay.
when you're paddling, you're moving so fast, you like here, say California, New Jersey, or say you're surfing Florida or whatever, you could paddle for a wave and go, oh, I don't want it. You can't
Okay.
do that in big waves. You have to commit because if you miss it, you got brought into the impact zone. The next one behind it, you're screwed. You know what I
Oh my
mean?
God. Yeah.
So, so what I liked about it was it gave me a focus of no hesitation. Like I go like this, you got to believe you can make it.
Mm.
And even though how steep it looks, it's going to look hairy. But if you can, do it. So the rush of adrenaline of making that was great. Now it outweighs safety. You get older and stuff. I've retired.
Sure.
I don't surf that
Yeah.
size anymore. You know, but then when I did, I was just like, okay, I like the fact that it's no hesitation. And what I would always do, which I still do with my acting career, or like say I was doing a show or stage show that I wanted to get on Saturday Night Live, I'd go to you, Ian, I'd go, Ian, I'm putting up a show in August. And then I didn't book it yet. But I would just, because I told you, I wouldn't go
you
back.
You had to do it.
So I would always do that in surfing. When I knew a big swell was coming in the North Shore in Hawaii, I go, I'm going to Waimea Bay tomorrow. And I would tell everybody so that I'd have to go.
I'd be so scared. Well, I mean, but I guess you were too, but you're like, I have to do it.
So, but I also do that in acting all the time. I say it, I'm going to do it. And I always do it. Maybe I'll fail. Maybe it won't work.
Sure.
But I'm going to do it.
That's a great lesson right there.
Yeah. So I learned all that kind of from surfing, you know, like how to do that.
My sister-in-law always says, you know, jump and the net will appear. And it's very much the same sort of advice.
Yeah. And I give people advice all the time, like, because I teach acting into little kids and students. And I just say, you've got to set a deadline and a goal. So like, if you're going to book something, you know, got to keep, because the career is so self-motivating. You know, you got to create it. And if otherwise, you're not creating something, it's not like waiting for your agent to call. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Every time I'm doing stand-up or doing a show or doing something else, I will get an audition.
Yeah, because you're being
every time. And I don't mind. I didn't mind when I do stage shows that I invite casting and industry. I don't mind that they don't come because you already have an advantage. You invited them. You're in their head. They feel guilty that they can't make it. So an audition comes up and they go, oh, let's just call in Mike. That's all I wanted. I didn't need them to see my show.
It's the guilt. That's a brilliant idea.
It works.
Oh, I haven't done
every
that.
time.
Okay,
it works all the time.
I'm probably too old to try it. I'm going to try it anyway.
It works.
Before we continue, we have this segment coming up a little bit later in the show called The Kiss and Tell, and it's where we share that behind-the-scenes story. Can you tease your kiss and tell in one word?
Norris.
Norris as in Chuck? Yeah. Oh, wait, that's a spoiler. We'll just say Norris.
Could be. Could be.
Okay. It could be the way you say Nora, but in it, like it's Nora's car.
No, but it's Norris.
Okay. I don't know. It's that Jersey accent, which you don't have. You sound.
I had it. I had to take linguistics for it. I constricted all my R's. I used to say coffee, water. Now when I say coffee, I have to think about it. I go, avocado.
Avocado. Wait, that sounded like avocado. Avocado. So, okay. So the surfing, you put it aside because you're like, you know, this is a bit too tough given, you know, my condition and trying to get better. I'm going to jump into acting. Was that so you're in Hawaii. Do you go to New York from there? Or you said you went to LA from Hawaii?
Yeah, I was already in New York before Hawaii from summers. I was studying there from college.
So you were doing, because you said you did stage before when you were young.
Yeah, I did just school plays. Nothing like, I didn't do plays like officially or class plays and stuff. I did plays like at HB where we weren't allowed to invite anybody.
But when you were doing the plays earlier, at first you're like, oh, I really love acting, but you thought you couldn't make it in that, so let's do the surfing thing?
No, I thought I could make it. I just wanted to do surfing first.
Okay, I got you. Sorry.
I mean, surfing was, I was like, I was kind of mad that I was a surfer because it was so encompassing. Like I would tell people, don't call me until it's nighttime because I'm not going to be home. I'll be at the beach.
So you were dedicated. I mean, that shows you were
just like, that's all I cared about.
You weren't like it just, sometimes you visualize like the movies, like the stoner surfer, and they're like, yeah, I guess I'll hit a wave. It wasn't like that.
No, it wasn't like that at all.
Okay.
There are people, I have friends like that are like that, but I was never like that. And I was never like that. Like, I never liked people going, dude, like, you know, because I played all those characters, especially
Yeah.
early in my career, like stoner dudes and stuff. And then people
Mhm.
would always go to me, "What's up, dude?" And I'm like, "I'm not a dude." Like I just didn't like it.
You're like, that's just acting, people.
Yeah. So, but I get it. They're trying to relate to you, and it's fine.
Okay, so surfing was a number one passion, but then when that wasn't quite working out, you went to LA. And
Mm-hmm.
how did you get your agent? How did that start happening for you in the
Oh,
acting
how did
scene
it
in
all
LA?
happen? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, I came to LA, got into classes,
Mm.
the same thing. This is old school way where now everything's on digital and
Hmm.
everything's on the net. We don't even have hard copies of our headshots, but I used to, put them in the envelope, 8x10s, send them out, get, agents that had jugglers and things like that,
Yeah.
circus acts. And then I'd be like their comedy guy or whatever, trying to get something and get a few commercials. And then I remember when I moved to LA, I got a Plymouth Valiant that got totaled on Western and Sunset Boulevard when I first moved here. I was
With you
parked
in it.
I was stopped at the light, and then a car came, hit me in the intersection, destroyed it. But it was an old Plymouth Valiant, so it only had the lap seatbelt. But
Oh,
for
shoot.
some reason, divine intervention, I lifted up my legs like this during the crash,
Yeah.
and the whole thing caved in. I would have lost my legs.
Oh my
You
gosh.
saw the car. It looks like I died. It didn't look like I survived,
Oh, that's
but I was
terrifying.
fine.
Good.
But then because of that, I had to, buy a car on credit and started paying my rent on credit. And then I was like, all right, I was trying to get bartend, which I eventually did at the Palace, but I was trying to
Okay.
get all these jobs. And then I got a job at the Palace finally. And then I also waited tables on Melrose at the same time, and then was at the Groundlings and doing my own shows. The only day I had off was when I didn't work a double. I go, oh, today's my day off. I only work one job and one class.
Oh my
But
God.
then I kept saying, I just focused and I go like this. I think I was 30 grand in debt. And I go, it
Oh,
doesn't matter. I'm going to get a McDonald's commercial. And that's what happened.
no way. So that
Yeah,
was,
I did a couple commercials before that one, but the
yeah,
McDonald's commercial, I remember that's back when they paid well. I
sure.
was sending my credit card 4,000 and 5,000 a week to
Oh
pay it
my
off. Like I
God.
was like, boom, 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 paid off.
Good for you. Good for you.
So then I got, I got agents would get better as you got some jobs. Like I did
Sure.
a top of show botchko job, which was total security with James Remar,
Oh,
Warriors
yeah.
fame, and
Yeah, I
he's
remember him.
great. And he gave me advice early on. He said, get the best representation you can and pretend you don't have any.
Oh, and continue to do the work for yourself. And
Yes.
okay, I got you.
Yes. Use the letterhead, but get out there. He
That's
goes,
great.
all my jobs are from connections and relationships.
Oh,
It's the way it is. He goes,
that's
you're
really
going to
good.
get hot. You're going to get cold. You're going to get hot. You're going to get cold. It's going to happen. Like, and he was like kind of my benchmark for that. And
Yeah.
then I was like, okay. So then I wanted to get Buffy the Vampire Slayer because I really liked that show at the time.
Yeah.
And then
Late 90s?
what happened was before I was union, I would send my picture through Dramalog, and it was a magazine
Okay.
that came out on Thursdays. But I knew a
Mhm.
newsstand in the Valley that got it on Wednesday afternoon.
Oh, so you got the one up
So
on
I
the
got it
land.
early, and I would submit my picture to this thing right away. And then I got this audition for this movie, and it was one of the rare days it was raining, and I went
Mhm.
in wet, like drenched,
Yeah.
did the audition, left. A year later, that casting director called me and she goes, I cast you for this movie, but they lost funding. But I remembered you. Would you come in to read for the show Fame LA, which was that one way back when. So I was like, sure. So she called me in. She booked me for this Sony show. I did it. And when I was doing the show, I was doing a stage show. I said, would you come to my stage show? And then she did. And I told her, she brought the producers from the show.
Oh, wow.
So they came and they go, oh, we're now casting Buffy. We have a character that Josh Wheaton would love that you do in your show.
Oh, cool.
So then they brought Josh Wheaton to my show. And then I just was the only person to audition for the part, you know, and I got it.
Big score for Clint. Monet still well in the lead, but look out for Team Klimt coming from behind. And you can never eat just one.
We eat when I say we eat.
God, lighten up.
I think it's funny when you scream. It's like, wow.
Were you over the moon, or you earned it? I mean, at that point, you're like,
earned
you know,
it.
I
They
made
saw me do it, and then I invited them to the show, and then I got it, and then I remember he was doing Angel and brought me in for a series regular later, but he said I was too significant in Buffy. And he wouldn't do it. And then he called me years later for a show where they were going to do a Netherworld version where everybody who died on Buffy that was significant, there was going to be another world.
Yeah.
And he goes, would you do it? And I was like, of course.
Wait, that's spoiler alert. So you died?
Yeah, I died.
You ruined the show. But go on.
But then he just, he didn't, you know, he never made it. And then when he did movies, he never called me.
But how nice there was that time when you came to mind a lot. I mean, I know that's frustrating because you're like, oh, here's some traction.
I think it's also too, I learn a lot too about keeping the traction. Like when you don't have experienced representation to really hone in on that or take it serious, to look for something, you know? Because I remember going in for Alan Ball. I was on a show reoccurring on Special Unit 2, going back and forth to Canada. And he brought me in on the pilot for 6 Feet Under.
Oh, wow.
And this is before cell phones. So I got there at night to Raleigh Studios and the phone on the desk rang. There was nobody there. No casting director.
What?
And the phone rang, and I was like, I picked it up. Hello? She goes, Mike, good, you're there. It was the casting director, Julie Larry Johnson. She's like,
what?
She goes, Alan Ball's in the other room. He's going to improv with you. And good luck. And then,
oh my God.
So he opened up the door. We improved. He goes, you know what? This is exactly what he said. He goes, you're too good for this small role. I go, I'll take it. And he goes, no, the show's going to get picked up. I'm going to bring you on this show. Never called me. And I never got in on True Blood, which was crazy because all my friends did. But I didn't have the right representation to get me in then. Now I do.
To remind them, hey, remember this guy? Oh.
Yeah, now I'll get in. But then I didn't. And I was like, oh,
that's so frustrating.
Those are just frustrating things, you know, that happen. Yeah.
Well, and they happen all the time. I don't think there's any point in our careers where they're not. It's like, oh, yay. And then, oh, yeah. You don't know until you're on set, till it actually comes out. You're like, oh, it is happening. It happened.
Yeah.
So was Fame, taking a step backwards, was Fame LA the first of the TV shows that came?
I don't believe so. I think it was early on. It was one of the first, but I don't think it's the first one I did. I think I did, you know, I did small parts on shows that probably you don't even have listed.
There are no small roles.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. That's true. But yeah, I mean, I definitely did commercials first before.
That's
TV. Great.
And
I did, you know, I racked over 100 commercials for sure.
Were you able to quit those other jobs because of the?
I stayed with them. I could have quit.
Okay.
I could have, because I was making enough, but I didn't. I always stayed bartending, and I was like, I'm going to stay bartending until I'm a series regular. But then I was gonna quit because I had 3 commercials running, and then I did a TV spots, you know, everything was fine. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna quit. But that's when the first commercial strike happened.
And when was that? Was that in the late 90s?
Probably late 90s, maybe the beginning of 2000, 2001. I don't remember exactly when it was,
Okay.
but I remember then I didn't book anything for like 2 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
all the residuals dried up and I went, oh my God, I'm glad I didn't quit.
Yeah.
But I quit bartending and those other jobs in 2016.
And why? Was there something specific that you're like, oh, this is the thing?
Oh
I don't need
yeah.
it.
I'll tell you, it's more personal. I had
Yeah.
heart surgery.
Oh my God, me too. What'd you have?
Mitral valve repair.
Oh, is that the
Mitral
what
valve.
what exactly was the issue? Was it
I had
deteriorate?
no heartbeat. It was just the blood going back and forth. It was just like the valves go ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. It was just
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay.
yeah. And it was from surfing when I was 17. I got a bad virus that damaged my heart.
Oh,
So then
wow.
it gave me an irregular heartbeat. And then as I got older, it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And then finally I had to do something.
It's scary stuff.
What was
How did
yours?
you
What
mine
was yours?
I was born with a bicuspid valve as opposed to tricuspid, and I was getting an aneurysm that was going to burst. So I
Got it.
had it fixed twice. So I had my last one 2 years ago, but I'm good. How do you feel? How are you?
I feel good. I just had the test. He's like, you got a heart of in the 20s. They can't believe what I did. But I learned from me, like I learned a lot about the heart. Like I took
Yeah.
it like a college course. I was like,
Okay.
I'm going to study everything and learn everything about
It
it.
sounds like you do this about everything.
Yeah. So I go, I'm going to learn everything about it. And at UCLA, they were contradicting what was happen to happen. And I didn't want to get a replacement and be on blood thinners from because I still surf and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I don't want that. So let me see if there's options. I can handle bad news. I just have to believe you. And I
Yes.
didn't trust my cardiologist here anymore.
Mhm.
So then I taped her and she said she
Secretly?
didn't say something and I played it back.
Oh,
So we had, issues.
yeah.
They don't
I
like that.
imagine.
So then she so I read that Stanford was doing this new thing. This is
Okay.
in 2018 and that I stopped in 2016 because of my back, but I had back
Okay.
issues, like it was locking up and getting spasms.
Okay.
But the heart thing was 2018 and
So
I
not long
went
ago.
to I just said I saw that they were doing it in Stanford and at Mass General in Boston. My sister lives in Boston. So I
Okay.
went and met the guy in Boston and he
Mhm.
was from Ukraine and a Ukrainian doctor, and he
Mhm.
learned this new technique in Berlin and teaches his students at Harvard.
Oh, wow.
And he
Okay.
goes, yeah, I can do it. And he went through the right side and over and did it. So he didn't
Oh,
cut
so
my
you
chest.
didn't have to do that?
He goes, I don't have to cut
Oh,
your chest. I can just do this.
I got that twice.
Yeah, you got the
But lucky
zipper.
you. I do. I have nice bumps right here.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I kind of like it,
Yeah, I
actually.
like it too. My friends have that, but
It's kind of cool.
it's cool. But I was I was okay to do it, but I was like, I'll do this instead.
Oh, why
So
not? If you have the
I
option.
mean, super painful, cutting
Yes.
muscle. It's super painful, but I learned I tell everybody, get 3 opinions. Doctors
Mhm.
have a God complex. They're going to tell us it's the only way to do it. And
Yeah.
then when you do it, and then they were so impressed by what he did. Now they do it here. Now in
Okay.
2025, they do that here.
But at
But they
the
didn't
time,
before. They didn't before.
it's just amazing what they can do. I mean, I don't mean to make this all about hearts, but it's amazing that we are like cars. They can go in there and we're lucky to live in the time that we live in, that this
Yeah.
can be done, because both of us would be dead.
Well, I look at it this way. I've had 10 surgeries. I'd have been dead. Every time I had a surgery, they invented it 5 years later or 10 years later. Like, so I go,
Oh,
okay,
gee.
so if I was in the 70s, I'd have died, for sure.
Well, I'm glad you didn't,
Multiple times.
because then I wouldn't have a guest this week. And what would I
Yeah.
do? So it's more about this show. So thank
Yeah.
you for surviving. You can die
But
after.
let me tell you this. Let me ask you this. Can I ask
Yeah.
you one thing?
Sure.
After all that,
hmm
I'm sure I could tell you're a guy who doesn't take things for granted, right?
I don't. Not at all.
Right?
Life's
Me
too
neither.
short.
Never did. Never
Yeah.
did. Every time going into New York City, I knew it was exciting. Every time.
Yeah.
Every sunset, every sunrise, every time I surf, or every time I get an acting job, I know
Totally.
I'm really I'm trying to take it in, right? I
Yeah.
want more all the time, but
Of
I
course,
am
me
trying
too.
to take it in. But after that surgery, the sky was bluer.
For sure.
Isn't that amazing? You
It
look
is.
at the sky and you go, it looks different.
And you come out, it's like a fog that you come out of too after this, because your world gets so small during the surgery and recovery.
Yeah.
And then it opens back up and you're like, this is pretty cool. Look at them stressing about that thing. I could be dead and I'm not.
Exactly. It's weird.
Kind of lovely. No, it makes
Yeah,
me appreciate every moment. Totally with you.
Me too. Okay.
That's why you're such a joy, Mike Rad. What I want to say. Oh yeah. So, okay. So after, well, actually, I want to ask you, how are you surviving? We had a pandemic. You had a heart surgery.
Yes.
Things are, looking, life is good. But there was also a strike. How are you doing? Because it's been tough for everyone I speak to.
It's so tough. But the one thing I learned was pandemic, I got to take care of my parents. I got to spend time with them a lot, which I wouldn't have been able to do.
Mm-hmm.
It changed the industry to put everything on tape.
Yes.
I
like that or hate it? Oh, sorry.
I'm okay with it theatrically. And I'm okay with it because it leaves me mobile. So I have a tape set up in New York. I have a tape set up in Florida. I have a tape set up in New Jersey, and I have a tape set up in California. So wherever I go, like most I can just set up and do it. If I get an audition I don't want to miss, I can do it. I don't like on tape commercials. I still only book when I go in person. I haven't booked anything off a tape. They still call me in rarely in person, and those are the ones I'll get. I don't have that bonding anymore, that thing. And I like the feedback in person to get the adjustment.
Sure.
And I miss that because you're just giving them, every time I go in, I'm giving them, this is my version, my turn to direct it, but they can say something, but I don't know what it is. And when you're on tape, the thing I don't like, now the competition has been multiplied by 50.
Sure. Yeah. They do see
like
a lot
tenfold.
more.
Like now they're seeing hundreds of tapes where they're only calling in maybe 20 people for this or something.
And before they actually had to, in person, they had to actually sit there and watch us. But now it's like they might watch 10 seconds if they're enjoying it. If we're lucky.
And then, I also don't miss the Hollywood and California were really tough. There were casting directors that are really good, but then there was ones that you would walk in the room and they would start reading the sides. They didn't even say hello. Like, I knew you had to learn which ones did that. So you knew you were prepared for, you gotta be prepared for every single thing that could possibly happen.
I hate that. That's gross.
And it was like, but then, when I remember auditioning for American Splendor, they were just like, it was this great casting director in New York, and she was reading a book. She spaced out everybody, so you never had anybody in the room with you. You felt like you were the only one there.
Oh, that's great.
You went in, and she goes, all right, tell me about, what do you think about the script? What do you think about the part? How are you going to play it? And she goes, oh, that's interesting. I was thinking of this way. Let me hear you do it your way. Oh, that's cool. Try it this way. You know what? I like your way better, Mike. Let's go tape that. And then we went in the other room.
That does not happen. And you booked
that'll never happen.
Can you tell everyone for those who don't know, what American Splendor is? With Paul Giamatti,
yeah, it's a movie about Harvey P. Carr, who was a comic book artist. And he was also, Crumb drew his pictures a lot of times.
Okay.
And it's the story of his life and him getting cancer and having adopted a baby. And I own the comic book store with Hope Davis, another great actress.
Oh yeah.
And it's the movie that made Paul Giamatti a star.
Okay. I did see it.
What was great about it was same thing like we talked about before with stage. I went to do New York to do my comedy show at the time. Okay. And I did it when I was doing it for NBC. Bob and Sherry, who's casting, they cast me in Cinema Verite, Nanny Diaries, a couple things now. They put me in. They came to my show and I didn't know they were there.
Oh, cool.
And I tell all these fun stories. And I told this crazy story about me and taking Molly Shannon to see Courtney Love, and we got in a fight, this whole thing. So I tell this whole crazy story, and they brought in Molly to play Hope Davis's part. And they go, oh, we saw Mike Rad's show. He told us this story about you and that. And they go, you know, we have a part that he might be right for, but you know, he's in LA. She goes, he's going to be in New York tomorrow. It's his brother's wedding.
Perfect.
So I went in and actually beat out one of my heroes for the role, Paul Rubens.
That's
you know who I love.
Yeah. Oh, that's
he was
lovely.
fine with it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, he had done quite well already.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, can you tell the Courtney Love, Shannon Doherty story that I saw in your stand-up?
Oh, sure.
It's so hilarious.
So yeah, I was working at the Palace, and whenever I worked there, I would, you know, invite friends to put them on the list and take them. And this was early on in her career, and she was doing 2 nights. So I said to Molly, hey, you want to go? I'll take off one night. So I took off the first night. So we watched the show, and it's good. It's pretty good. And I go, come on, let's go backstage. And I go, oh, we should bring her a Greyhound, which is vodka and grapefruit juice. And I go, let's bring it backstage to her and see, you know. And Molly's like, that's perfect. She goes, that'll get us into the conversation. It's perfect. Right. So I go and we turn the corner to backstage, and that's when she was throwing Shannon Doherty up against the wall, who, by the way, was lovely to me on Charmed.
Oh, well,
and I got to tell her that before she passed. I met her in Malibu and told her how nice she was, and she cried and gave me a hug and introduced me to her mom.
Oh, that's sweet.
But she was very nice to me, so I really liked her. And
did she remember this story?
What?
Or did you discuss this story with?
No, I didn't. With Shannon, no.
Okay, all right.
So
maybe it was.
She's throwing her up against the wall. She's like, "You effing bitch, get out of my backstage," you know, whatever. And we're like, "Oh my god!" So Molly goes like this, "Hey, go hand her the drink," and I'm like, "Now?" And she goes. So I go, "Hey, Courtney, I got you this." She goes, "What is this?" And I go, "It's a Greyhound, you know, vodka and grapefruit juice. That's what you were drinking, right?" And she just smashes it on the ground. She goes, "I can't take drinks from strangers. It might be poison." And I was like, okay. And Molly's like, "That's so rock and roll." She was so happy. So then the next night, I went backstage and I saw Rhodey carrying a pot of tea. And I go, "Who's that for?" And he goes, "It's for Courtney Love." And I go, "Let me bring it to her." And I knock on the door and I hear, "Who is it?" And I go, "It's your tea." And she's like, "Oh, come in, sweetie." Sits down on the chair. She goes, "You want some cantaloupe from the deli tray?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I'm like, "You were great last night." And she goes, "Oh, thanks. You're so sweet. You're so sweet." And I go, yeah. And then I go, well, I gotta go, you know, back to the to work, but have a great show. She goes, "See me after." And I go, "Okay." And then I open the door and I go, "Oh, and Courtney, don't worry. That tea, it's not poison."
Did she remember that you were that guy?
Then it put 2 to 2 together.
Oh.
You could see like Yosemite Sam just getting red. She just got red and she took the Tata tea. She goes, "Fuck you." Threw it. I blocked it with the tour. And then I go, "Now you're not getting any more tea." And then I ran.
Wait, was that real? Is that part real? The end part?
Yeah.
No way. Okay.
It's totally real. So then after that, I told Molly what happened. And then right after that, she did on Saturday Night Live, Courtney Love, top 10 bruises on her body. But that part where she's going, "You're so sweet. You're so sweet." She did that.
No, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and watch these.
Yeah, so that was cool.
As far as your stand-up, would you say, because are you still doing your stand-up?
I do it when I'm invited. I don't do it. I'm not pursuing it. I'll do it in Miami and Florida when I go visit my mom in the winter, because she's a snowbird. She's in Palm Beach and in Jersey Shore now. But when she's in Palm Beach, I go there because I drive her down and then I drive her back at the end of each season. And when I go there, I do stand up to pay for my flights because they pay really well in Florida.
That's great.
Like here, everybody just wants a showcase and doing it for free. And what, $20 at the Comedy Store and food or something? There, I'm getting $200 plus a cut of the tips that they'll send me later. So And it's always sold out in Miami. People go crazy.
Do you enjoy it?
I love it because I like doing it there because they're really into the stories.
Yeah.
They get into it and they're like, oh, because it's a little removed. Here they've heard stories like that. Or New York. There they're like, oh my God, really? You know?
Well, it's because you're like your Hollywood stories. Is that what you mean? Like,
yeah, like I tell a Keanu Reeves story, which they love. You know,
I have that. Should I play that clip, or what do you think? Or would you be like, "Oh my God, I don't want to sit through my own clip"? Do you mind?
No, I don't mind. You can play it. I don't care.
I'm gonna play it because I showed my kid earlier. He thought it was hilarious. He's like, "Is that real?" I'm like, "Yeah." Here it goes.
Yeah.
I first met Keanu Reeves in Hawaii. I was there trying to be a professional surfer, and he was there doing research for the film Point Break. And he was super cool. We hung out for a whole week. He told me all what it was like to be a movie star, and I told him all what it was like to be a surfer. And my friends noticed that I was hanging out with him, and they were very excited. So they said, hey, you should invite Keanu to our party. So I said, okay. So I went up to him and I said, hey, Keanu, my friends and I are having a party tonight. We would like you to come. And he goes, you should know that I don't care about that. Okay. And he goes, but do you think you could get me some pot? And I was like, well, you know, the island was dry at the time, and it was illegal back then, but it was dry at the time. They busted all the fields with infrared cameras, so it was really hard to get weed. But I was connected, so I managed to get him a butt or two. And he was so grateful that when he moved back to California, he mailed me pot from Los Angeles to Hawaii. And with a letter, and it said, I know it's really hard for you to get weed right now, so I wanted you to have this. Signed, Keanu. I was like, whoa, look, he signed it. So 6 months go by, I move to Los Angeles, and I'm with my friends in a bar, and I see Keanu Reeves, and I was like, holy shit, there's Keanu. I sort of know him. You guys want to meet him? They're like, yeah. So I go up to him, and I go, hey, Keanu, remember me? And he goes, hey, Mike Rad. Did you ever get that pot I sent you? Yeah, thanks. So a month goes by, and I'm up at this breakfast place, Beechwood Cafe, up by the Hollywood sign, and I see him having breakfast, and I'm with a girlfriend of mine. And I go, holy shit, look, there's Keanu Reeves. You want to meet him? And she's like, sure. So I go up to him, and I go, hey, Keanu. And he goes, hey, Mike Rad. Did you ever get that pot I sent you? I was like, yeah, thanks. So then, 6 months go by. My parents come to visit, and I take them to a screening of a movie, and Keanu Reeves is there. And I go to my parents, I was like, oh, Mom, Dad, you want to meet a movie star? And my mom's like, oh, Mike, he's a big star. He's probably got a lot on his mind. I was like, I think we'll be okay. So I go up to him, and this time he's turned sideways. So he's like this. I go, hey, Keanu. And he's like, hey, Mike Rad. Did you get that pot? I was like, whoa, Keanu, these are my parents. And he's like, oh, right. Nice to meet you, Mr. and Mrs. Rad. So wait, you never got that pot? Okay, that's what.
Have you seen him since? Is there another run-in?
I've seen him many times. I haven't seen him in years, but he would do it. You know, for the stand-up that I did 3 times, I would say he did it 6 times.
Oh my gosh.
You know, but for comedy, you want the rule of 3, of course. But
okay.
So I just did it like that. But yeah, he did it a lot. But then the last time I asked him if it was okay to tell the story. And he was like, did I really do that? And it was like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, you can tell it. I don't care.
Is he just kind of spacey? I mean,
no, he was kind of stoned. He's not anymore. Now he's on top of it. Now he wouldn't do that now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Like he's on top of it. But
that's so
super
funny.
nice person. Like
Okay.
not like I have nothing bad to say about the guy.
No, he sent you a nice note with the pie. I mean, you were
Yeah.
nice to him, so he returned.
Yeah,
That's
he was
good.
great. Great guy. Cool.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You know,
though.
he got me excited to move to California and be an actor. You know, he got me
Yeah.
excited about it. Yeah, and yeah. So it was cool. Yeah, so that was awesome.
And you have like because you have these stories, obviously the insider stories. You see celebrities. You also had the short story about walking into a gas station and you lock the key in the bathroom, and then you come out, and just the reaction from the clerk.
Yeah,
it's just like this funny sort of things you observe, kind of stories that you share.
Right. Yeah.
And
I had one with that my mom lives in this condo in Florida, and I would tell it in Florida because they would like this thing. Was this old lady, lesbian? She's an old lady, and she goes, and she talked like, this is a long reference, but you might get it. Suzanne Plachette, you know, like you know, like smoker's voice. You know, she's like, "Oh, hey, Mike." And I was going spearfishing, so I just got back from spearfishing. She goes, "Oh, did you get any fish?" And I was like, "None today." And she goes, "Oh, you gotta go with this girl right here. She's a first mate on a boat here. She works out of Key West. You got to get down there and go with her. You'll catch all the fish. Here, let me show you a picture." And she starts scrolling her phone, and this lady's like in her 70s, you know, and she's scrolling her phone, and it's all hot girls in bikinis, and she goes, "Ups."
Oh, that's sweet.
So I was just like, thought it was the funniest thing.
Like, no, that's not the one.
Yeah, she's like,
that was cute but your story is that you tell a story, or they're just sort of things you observed. Would you, if you had to choose, and it seems like because stand-up comedy doesn't necessarily pay a ton in the places where you spend most of your time, but if you could choose being paid a ton for one of these, whether it be the surfing at your prime, the acting at your prime, the stand-up at your prime, or creating indie shorts, which one do you save if the rest have to fall over a cliff and die?
Oh, acting in your prime, by far.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not even close now. It's
what, and giving your
I think it's because of the thing. I think it's because I found a new, like, you have to keep not reinventing yourself, but being aware of who you are. Because remember the actor Michael Ironside?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. He directs a lot. He always played the bad guy, like in
Scanners, right?
Yeah, Scanners, Running Man, I think. Total Recall, I think, maybe.
Life Force, maybe?
Yeah, and, you know, all these things. And
all the genre pictures.
Yeah, he told me, he goes, get yourself typecast, find out what you're really good at, and sell the crap out of it. And he goes, because then you're going to make your money, and it's going to give you freedom to do what you really want to do. And he really wanted to direct. So he would do these roles of villains. Like, I think he was even kind of the guy in Perfect Storm. He was the owner of the company type thing.
Okay.
And he plays these roles that, you know, he's going to play, but he'd go to Canada and direct tons of TV and tons of stuff that he liked to do. So I was like, oh, so just don't be afraid. Like, so when early on, I was never afraid to play the stoner all the time, you know, but now that I'm reinventing myself, what I'm saying is I'm enjoying doing drama, more gritty, more something like that. And whenever I say that, then I'll book a comedy, but but that's what I'm into.
Do you see those opportunities? Do you see other people starting to see you trying to make that transformation and giving you those opportunities?
Well,
or you create them?
I think now I mean, you know, I don't like in interviews. I guess this is the perfect show for it, to talk about the misfires.
Yeah.
Like the different things that happen. What happened was, like, as an actor like me, I haven't gotten, like, yes, I believe I tell everybody in my students, you're going to get your shot.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to get their shot. If you're new, they're going to want to see you eventually. If you work at it, they will see you for a role. and you're going to get your shot. You got to be ready when you get your shot. You can't be nervous. You got to pretend not to be nervous. It's all about confidence. But if you're ready and you give what you did and they happen to cast you, you know, you fit in the thing for things that were out of your control, those other things. But if you do it and they like you and you get it, then you know, you can have a career and keep that going. But, you know, different casting directors will become your fan. Now, there was a thing I went up for 2 things in a row. I went up for the new, they're doing a series for Cape Fear.
Okay.
It's going to be Apple TV. Spielberg's directing half, Scorsese's directing half.
Oh, wow.
And I went in for an 8-episode arc character. Now, I did great. I don't regret it. I don't know, but I went up to the final. Like, I don't know why they didn't cast me, but I didn't. But right after that, I went in for the new Monster series.
Meaning like the Charlize Theron?
No,
series?
the one that was the Menendez brothers, the one where he was eating the people. What was it? I forget his name.
Ryan
Murphy. Yeah, Ryan Murphy's thing.
Okay.
So I go in to play Richard Speck, who killed the nurses, and then he transitioned in jail. He grew breasts and stuff, and he was like really, you know, doing all this stuff. So I watched all his documentary footage. I studied it. I did everything possible. I got the accent down. He's from Texas, but he killed the people in Chicago. So I had that down. I shaved. I cut my hair to look like him. I did just for the audition. I did it all. Like, I was like, I'm doing everything I can to get this, because I knew this would be career making. If I got this, it's like you're fantasizing, you're not letting yourself fantasize, but you're like, I get this, I'm at the Emmys next year. It's gonna happen. Like, it's gonna be like that. It will happen. So I'm gonna give everything I have into it. So I watched it, and then I have a director friend of mine who's a pretty successful director come over and film me, and he filmed me at the angle of the documentary to have the same angle, like security footage type thing when I was doing it. And I did all his mannerisms, and I said, cut it if I become myself, like Mike Rad. If I do a mannerism that recognizes, I only want to do his. I only want to talk like him. But he talked very monotone and very slow. So I changed it. I go, I have to give him a little bit more, because I know his history of why he did things. I knew everything, why he killed, what made him mad. Like, in my head, I knew for what I was going to do. Not that that's actually true, but from everything I read, I made a biography of what he was feeling and why he did it. So I did all of that. So I knew exactly what I was doing. I filmed this perfect audition, and I was the casting director's choice, who's a big casting director who I never went for. Now at my age, they're big now in New York. They cast Wicked. They cast a lot of Broadway shows.
Is it
and now they're casting big movies.
Okay.
So they're the top one now.
Is it Telsey? Is that?
It's not.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
I can look it up, but yeah, but I did it, and I was the guy. They're you know, they're already going, you're going to fly to
oh wow
thing, and then they cast another guy, you know, like it was between me and him. I didn't know. I thought I was the guy. So we were doing all the dates, because everything works differently now. And I was like, oh shoot. So then I was up for Ben Stiller backed out of Murders in the Building.
Okay.
And Bob and Sherry, who were directing it, who directed me in American Splendor, go, hey, they called me and they go, hey, when we direct TV, it's already cast, but there's a part here for you that would be great. He lives in the bottom of the building. He does the garbage and stuff. It'd be great. And it's, you know, with Steve Martin and Martin Short and everything. And I did Martin Short's series, Jiminy Glick. You know, I did 3 seasons of that. So I knew Martin Short. So I was like, oh my God, you know, and they're my hero, of course, comedy heroes. What are you going to do? Of course. Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, but they had already been casting it on a Monday, and their deadline was Friday. I got it I got the 4 pages on Sunday. Then they called me and it says, because of SAG rules, they have to give you a couple of days. So they said your deadline was Wednesday. So they gave me it on Sunday and they go, your deadline's Wednesday. They called me and they go, they're choosing in an hour. Send it now.
Oh my
And
God.
it was the same casting as Monster. So I didn't want to think I was a one and done, like a fluke.
Yeah.
I wanted to show them that I could do comedy. And I go, I can't send this in an hour. I can't
Do it
let
justice.
this casting person think I'm bad.
Yes.
So I did it. I got it in late that night. I did it, off book, did everything, sent it in. They love me, but they already cast it already before mine was in.
I think you did the right thing though, because you have to do yourself justice and it's about winning casting and there's no guarantee in the role, of course. But obviously you can do comedy. You're speaking to you today because we haven't actually met and watching Stump the Bill, watching a lot of your clips. You're not the person I thought you were. Like you do, because you do play a lot of the, hey, and you're super goofy on Stump the Bill and you're great. You're hilarious, but you're so hardworking. And not that I doubted that, but it's not the characters you play. So it's funny that one can read into those.
But that's, that's an inside story of how that works. And it's just like when you see what's really happening behind the scenes, because I knew the people, I was like, oh, shit. Like it was so, that would have been career making too. Another thing right after that. But then I was so crushed about it. And then my agent, who's really nice, he's Connor Akram, and it's this guy, Steve Walker. He's awesome. And he goes, he would call me, he goes, how are you doing? Whatever. He goes, I know you're broken up about that. And I go like this. And it took me about a month or so to get over it, Monster, because I thought that was my thing. Yeah. And he goes, there's going to be another one. And I go like this. I go, listen, I've been in it for 30 years. That's the only audition I had like that.
Wow.
I don't see it. It would be different if I was on another level at CAA where another one comes up next week. Sure. It doesn't. Yeah. And I go, so then you're saying no small actors. I put that in my mind when I'm going for smaller roles, I'm like, okay, just treat it the same. Just treat it the same. Just treat it the same. It doesn't, just get this. And now, we'll see. I have an opportunity right now for a new show from the same writers of Bad Monkey.
Okay. I don't know that, but
it was a Vince Vaughn show.
Okay.
And they're doing another show now. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get this then.
No, good. No,
you know what I mean?
It's just so slow right now. So obviously those opportunities are a little more sparse.
Well, it's a little different too for me. I have Southern agents too.
Oh, me
I have
too.
An agent in New Orleans. I have an agent in Florida. I have an agent in New York, and I have agent in and I have agents here.
Okay. Yeah, I have New York and Atlanta.
Different opportunities from the South. Like this is going to shoot in Wilmington, North Carolina. So this is my Southern reps.
Oh, good. Okay.
Where LA's quiet,
Yeah. I feel like everywhere's somewhat quiet, but
yeah.
I want to ask you because I don't want to keep you forever. I mean, I do want to keep you forever, but I know you have shared some advice, but is there any specific other advice that you would want to share with up and coming actors, something you wish you had known or anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, the basic thing is confidence outweighs talent. So like Bill Murray said, he saw Gilda Radner was always confident because she never had to worry about money because she came from money.
Yeah.
So she had that confidence and she had that personality. He didn't, but he goes, I can pretend to be confident. So pretend to be confident. But I feel like the one thing I tell everybody, and I try to do it, and we've done it today. I go, if you want to be in this business, or any business, but especially this one.
Yeah.
Do something that forwards your career every day, even if it's 30 seconds. Now, I feel like this forwards our career today, what we just did. Sure. Or if I'm in a class with kids, I go, you did it today. But did you go to an art museum? Did you go to did you watch something? And you watch it differently as an actor or as a filmmaker. Like as a drummer would listen to a song, he only hears the drums. Me, when I watch something, I'm watching kind of the choice that actor just made. Like, oh, they made that choice. That's interesting. You know, that kind of hits me first. And then, of course, the story, you know, the writing, everything hits you. But there's certain things that pop out. But I go, like, see somebody on a subway, see a character, or if something embarrassing happens to you, that's a good thing. You can put that in your bank and use it. You know, like you can always use these funny stories because there's a reaction to it on how you felt, whether you were embarrassed or whatever. And I just feel like if you do something, a couple of things a day, same as a writer. When I see I'm a writer, but I haven't written in a while because I haven't had time, I go, if you wrote 30 seconds, one sentence a day, at the end of the month, how much are you going to have? You have that 2-hour session that you keep waiting for. You know, so I always try to go like this. Before I go to bed every night, I go, what did I do today to forward my career?
Wow, that's
and
great.
If I didn't do something, I get up and do something real quick. And it could take a couple seconds.
Yeah. Doesn't that wake you up? You go to bed and you're like, oh, shoot, I didn't do a thing. I got to get up. That would wake me up.
I'll just
That's still good.
I'll do it real quick, you know? So
yeah,
I just do it real quick, or I'll, and I always want to be, I go, you got to be ready. Because there's people go, oh, I haven't had enough auditions. I haven't been ready. And I'm like,
sure.
You can just go on Actors Access and submit for everything and submit for stuff you don't even want just to audition for it.
Or tape with a friend. That's what I have friends I do that with. Yeah.
Tape with a friend. And I do the harder thing where I memorize Shakespeare monologues because they're the hardest thing.
I saw you did some Shakespeare. The Porter?
Yeah, I did the Porter from Macbeth. I filmed that. Yeah, but I'll do ones that are really hard that takes me like a month to get.
Wow.
You know, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm still not there, but it takes me a month to get it. You know, because I studied at Steppenwolf Theater. Them taught me Shakespeare there, and I learned a lot.
I am inspired seriously by you. It's like, wow, I need to step up my game because you are so on top of it in a way that I am not. I'm like, oh, here's my dog. I'd rather pet my dog right now or hang out with my kids and my wife. But you're right.
Sure, that's okay. But if you can set up signs and, you know, you look at the same as sports stars, you're like, I go like this. I go, here's the main thing. This is the main rule I tell everybody. I go, when you have an audition, work as hard as you can with the time allotted. So you have your dog, you have your family, you have your kids, you get sick, you have work. But that time you go, all right, I have this time frame. It has to be focused and hard because someone else is working harder.
Sure.
And then when I get actors to come up to me, oh, I'm just going to read it off script. I go, you know what? There's other actors are going to be off book. What are you doing?
Absolutely. Why would you undermine yourself like that?
I go, you have the chance. I don't have enough time. Why don't you have enough time? When I was bartending, I took off work every time for an audition, not just for a job. I took off for an audition.
Well, because you had to think about why are you bartending so you can, you know, have some money to survive so you can do the acting.
Now you have the opportunity. You have to go for it no matter what.
Absolutely.
You know, you have to go for it. And I think sometimes to my detriment, I took it too seriously where it probably locked me up creatively a little bit, where I always had people go, oh, you know, I'll be here for the next one. I'm going to pass on this, or I'm going to Mexico, or I'm doing something. Like I would always change my flights and stuff.
Oh my God.
The people that didn't, they go, there'll be one when I get back, would work all the time. Because they were just,
of course,
it wasn't because they were locking up that opportunity. It's just that they were loose and confident. And
sure, there'll be something down the road, whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
they're like, you know, this guy. And
you never know what the reason is.
Casting directors don't want to see you work hard. They want it to look like effortless.
Yeah,
they're like, and I always try to do the other thing where I go like this. I don't want them to think I'm a good actor. I want them to think I'm that character. Like they go, "Oh, we found the guy. He's actually him." That's
And
what I want.
have you gotten that sort of feedback? Like, oh, you're the guy.
Plenty of times.
That's
Plenty of
great.
times when I played an asshole, they told my agent he's either really an asshole or he's a really good actor. Either way, we want him.
That's amazing.
And then there was other times when I remember I went into a thing with a Croatian accent because I'm Croatian, but I don't have that accent.
Sure.
And they go like this, they go, "Oh, is that your real accent?" Because they thought it was. And I go, "Nah." I go, "But I'm Croatian and my parents are Croatian." And they go like this, "Oh, do they have accents?" And I go, "Yeah." And they go, "Oh." And then I walked out and I was like, "Jersey accents."
You did have to be. Why not? You were being honest. Do you have, when you're about to step onto a set, and I'll let you go soon, when you're about to step onto a set, do you have a hocus pocus, something you do to be in the zone, or some sort of, walk backwards 3 times around your trailer, anything like that?
No, but it is from job to job. Okay.
Okay.
So it's different. If it's a comedy, I'm very loose with everybody. Like I like to enjoy the set and meet everybody. And I always ask like the gaffer and sound guys what they think. I always ask them, and because they know what the movie is or the TV show is and how they like it. And I ask them, like, even if it's advice I don't want, I just bring them involved.
Yeah.
And I really am friendly on the set and I like to be liked that way. But there are times where you have to protect yourself.
Sure. For emotionally stay in the place.
Yeah. And when I did them and I played, a racist rapist, that I was like, okay. I was like, I wanted them to think I was the thing, the character. That's where you can't have them. So after I sent the tape in, they called me in to test me. Amazon did.
Yeah.
And I just said, "Hey, I'm not this guy, just so you know."
And they don't want that guy.
Yeah. And I go like this, and I'm not fully method. I go, after the scene, I'm going to be very nice. Be quiet, but I'm going to be very nice.
Sure.
And I go, I'm going to be nice up to action, and then we're going to do it. And then it's going to be very violent, and then I'm going to be the other thing. Then I took the girl who I was supposedly, who I had to rape, and I told her, we had an intimacy coordinator, and we went through it and blocked it out in a dance studio like the week before.
Sure.
So we knew all the movements and knew where to touch and what was comfortable. So we knew all that. But then you're getting on there with a really good actress. So you don't want to anticipate as an actor. But I wasn't prepared for being on top of her and watching the tears come down her face. Her just start crying.
Yeah.
So after the first take, I got up and they said cut, and I went to the bathroom, threw up, and I was shaking. And then I brushed my teeth and I came back. But I told her before we started, I said, "You yell cut, because you're screaming no and stop. I don't know to stop. I'm not going to stop unless the actor yells cut, not the director." And I told her that. And she wrote me a letter and she said, "I couldn't have done the scene without you. You made it super safe."
Can you tell us what that project is, unless you're not comfortable telling us?
It's them Covenant, the first season on Amazon.
Okay.
So I play a guy from North Carolina that before she moves to Compton, they're one of the first Black families to move to Compton, California in the 50s.
Okay.
And I rape her. And the reason why she moved there is I raped her and killed her baby.
Jeez.
So it's like horrible. But it's like they made it horror, but it's based on a true story.
Okay.
And it was crazy. But then, they're filming it from every angle and you're doing it for 2 days and you're like, what the and I even told them, like, you have to wear one of those harnesses.
Okay.
That cover your genitals.
I haven't done that yet. I don't want to.
So it's like a sock type thing, right?
Okay.
And it's with strap there, so you can see your butt, right?
Sure.
So it looks like basically you're going into the floor. You're not touching her.
Of course.
But you're on top of her, and the way they're angling it, so you're going into the floor. So I said, okay, I don't want to feel anything. This thing keeps falling off. I don't want it to fall off in front of her. That's embarrassing.
Of course.
So I got wardrobe to get the double stick tape, and I double sticked it all through my pubic hair. And I told them, when it's done, I'm cutting it off, and that's it. And they were like, okay, that's fine. I go, you can shoot as long as you want, do as much as you want. I'll do it 1,000,000 times. I don't care. But when it's done and I cut it off, we're done. So I did it, and I didn't feel anything. I had it, and I go, are we done? We done? I checked everywhere. They go, yep, that's it. Final take. I cut it off. They were like, Mike, we need you one more time. And I was like,
no. Did you say good?
I was like, that's it. I told you. I already told you. That's it. You got 2 days of footage. What more do you need?
They had it. They had it, right?
Then they had it, and then they don't even show it. It's like all cut. You can't even see what we did. You know, it was too brutal. I was like, you're really going to show this? This is
sadistic almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good for you, though.
But yeah. So when you're saying, do I have a ritual? No. I take it from stain by stain. Before I go, this is how I'm going to approach this on set.
And that makes sense. Like if you have a crying scene or whatever, listen to sad music, step aside, or whatever it takes.
Right. And then there was one thing where I got to improv. I did this whole thing with Cheech and Chong.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when I did it with them. And then my whole thing for them was I wanted just a picture with them more than getting paid.
Of course, it's Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, so I have a picture with me and their arms around me, and that's all I wanted.
I was
figuring out the whole day when to ask them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. You're like, this Cheech and Chong. They were, a part of our childhood.
Childhood. That's why.
I know I'm keeping you forever, but can I show that clip reel quick?
Oh,
the
sure.
Cheech and Chong?
Sure.
That's such an awesome van you got. What's in the back?
Brownies. Yeah, magic brownies.
That's what smells so good.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys should just go long.
What?
No, yeah, keep going. He's going. Go with him. Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, go way out there. Here you go.
Whoa!
No dice.
Hey! He's got our van! That's okay, man. I got his throwing thing.
Go on. Yeah, go far out. Go far.
What is that? What project is that?
It was, they didn't air it because we did a series of commercials for Fiber One brownies. And the tag was get high on fiber.
That never aired anywhere? That wasn't.
They wouldn't air it. They made a movie with it though. Like there's tons of more scenes of us.
Okay, good. So
we go to Burning Man together.
That sounds amazing.
It's crazy.
Your career is incredible. I mean, seriously, like you've done so much. So I encourage everyone to go to your website, which is Mike/Rad. Would you say slash?
No, dash Rad.
Mike-Rad.com. And there's lots of clips on there and your resume and photos. But this brings me back to our kiss and tell, which you teased with Norris. What's your kiss and tell?
Yes. I don't know if you've heard this story, Ian. Have you?
I don't think I have.
Okay. So, I was serial killer, I believe, on season 6, season finale of Walker, Texas Ranger, 2-parter.
Okay.
So my whole thing is, this is early in my career. So I was like, I wanted to really get into this character, So I would sit in hotel lobbies and watch people get in the elevator and imagine how I'd murder them.
Oh, God.
And then when I went to the audition, I was like, everybody there, I'm just going to kill. So I would look at the other actors and I would imagine how I was killing that person. And then the person goes, Mike, sign in right here. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to stab you with this pen right now in front of everybody.
Did you think it or did you say it?
No, I'm just thinking it.
Okay.
Just thinking it. So I went in and the basic plot of this thing was there was this really bad guy and he was getting money out of really rich families in Dallas.
Okay.
He was, forcing them to give him money. So he has me escape. I'm this serial killer. He gets me to escape out of my mental institution. Okay. And then he has me kill these rich families. He sets it up to these families that I can go kill and destroy, murder everybody. Mm-hmm. And I would film it, and then he would take the film and go, "This is going to happen to your family unless you pay me," like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and we were kind of, it was a little Clockwork Orangey the way we did things, so that was cool. So I had the idea of, I'm going to kill the people, but when I kill them, I want to feel death. So I get off on it almost sexually, like orgasmically. So I'm like,
yeah,
like I feel them, like as they're like, I kill them, and then I want to feel their heart and feel them breathing, like, and just feel it. That's what I wanted to do.
That's good.
So I get to the set, and I have to kill this cop in the first scene. First scene we're doing, and I come in, I have my cohorts with me, and I'm kicking them, and I'm doing this whole thing. And then I get on, my line was, "I love the sound of a cop dying," like that thing, right? So that's my line or whatever. And I do the scene, and then I see the director go like this, cut. And then again, we go back to one, we do it again. And then he goes, cut. And I could tell he didn't like it. And then he goes, do it again. And he goes, cut.
Were you getting in your head or nervous or anything?
Yeah, I could just tell. And then the producers come over and they start talking, and they're pointing at me, and they're like, and I'm like, oh no. And then they go, Mike, come here a minute. And then they go, okay, Mike, what you're doing, super scary, perfect for film. But have you seen the show?
It's a family show, right?
He goes, I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, it's Walker, Texas Ranger. We need you to yell and scream. And then the one producer goes, yeah, and throw in a demonic laugh. So then the scene is, if you see it,
I'm going to find it.
He goes like this. He goes, I go, we have a message for Walker. And the guy goes, what are you going to tell him? The circus is in town? And I go, you'll never know. Like, it's so crazy.
What the hell's going on here?
We have a message for Walker.
What are you going to tell him? The circus is in town?
You'll never know. Turn this old bird inside out.
Not anymore.
I love the sound of a cop dying.
I remember watching it with my friend Greg Redmond, and we're sitting there watching it, and he goes like this. He goes, it's so bad, it might be brilliant. But then I was bummed, and I actually called Molly Shannon on this while I was on set, because I was there, for 2 weeks, and I said, I'm just bummed. They won't let me do it the way I want to do it. They won't let me do it the way I want to do it. And she's like, just keep going. They're paying you. It's just do it the way they want. It's their show. So I go, yeah, I am. And then I kept going, well, I had been down there a couple days earlier to train with Chuck Norris, because the final scene, he beats me up, breaks my fingers, breaks my arm, does this whole thing. Mm-hmm. So we did all this stunt stuff. So he was teaching me some karate and doing some stuff. So I kept going like this. Yeah, but you never beat Bruce Lee. And he goes, yes, I did. And I go, on film, not in real life. And he would get mad and just like tease him all the time. So then at the end of one day, because I did really good, and he goes, wow, you're finally picking it up. Like he was kind of happy. So he's walking off the mat, and I went up and smacked him in the back of the head. And I go, you ain't so fast. He put me in a move that I thought he was going to kill me.
Oh my God.
I couldn't breathe. I thought I was going to die. And he goes like this. I go, okay. So then we got on set, and I knew the buck stops with Chuck, Mr. Norris. So he comes on set and pulls the Indiana Jones thing. I don't know. Remember, he was sick, so he just shot the guy with the whip.
Oh, yeah.
Harrison Ford. So it was the same thing. He comes up, and I had a meat cleaver, and we're supposed to have this big fight. And he goes, I'm just going to shoot him. And I was like, no. So I go up to him, and I go like this. I knew to appeal to his ego. I go, listen. I go, Mr. Norris, your fans are going to want you to kick my ass. This is the season finale. I killed 5 families and a dog.
You can't
They're
just
going to want you to kill me. Yeah, beat me. He goes, all right, how about this? You charge me with the cleaver. I'll flip you through glass. you'll break, and then we'll have the glass go through your heart, and you'll die that way. And I go, okay, let's do that. That'll be fun. So I chase him. He throws me on a mat. Then they get the stunt guy, right? The stunt guy has my wig, same outfit, but he has big, thick pads on, right? Through his pants. And I go, what are the pads? Aren't it fake glass? He goes, yeah, never be too, you can't be too, you always have to be careful. So I was like, okay. So he does it. He goes through the glass. He's screaming bloody murder. It ended up cutting through his padding, and he had to get like 18 stitches. It slits his leg open, his thigh open. And I just run over and I go like this, are you all right? And the stunt guy looks at me and goes, you couldn't have just got shot? And I go, yeah, but it looked great.
Don't shoot. I want him to talk. Drop it.
Go ahead. Shoot me.
That guy probably still has a scar today because of you.
I know.
That's amazing. Well, I can't believe you hit him in the back of the head. Like that part of it, you had some confidence there.
Oh, I would do that. I do that all the time with like bartending and with celebrities and stuff. I go up to talk to them.
Yeah.
I talk to everybody. And now I have a book that I'm writing all about the palace of every single story.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Like everyone, from Guns N' Roses to Nirvana, because I knew Kurt Cobain. I knew everybody, because I hung out with them backstage. So I have a little story of everything. And like the small stories are just maybe just one words. Like I have James Brown, where we were sitting next to each other and I saw all his rings and he sat down. I waited till we made eye contact. And I just looked at him and I went, Mr. Brown, your music makes me very happy. And he went, oh, thank you. And shook my hand. And I was like, perfect. That's it.
That's all you would want.
That's it. I had, Mitch Hedberg offer me heroin. I had, like all these different things that happened that I can't believe happened. And when you start writing something, you forget, like all of a sudden you start remembering stuff that actually happened. You're like, oh my God, I met that person, or I remember doing that.
You are currently writing this.
Yes.
When is this coming out? Because I know this is how you've done a lot of things. This is
you have
to tell me.
Well, I'm finishing it. And then I'm going to send it to publishers. I do not want to self-publish this.
Who's going to publish it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm sending it to there. And I have some connections with people with magazines that could review it and stuff.
Okay.
So like Revolver magazine will review it maybe. And I'm trying to get it. So, but I just they said you have to do 50 pages and then submit it, but I'm finishing the whole thing.
Okay. And I'm sorry, when did you say that it would be finished?
That's funny that you say that because I don't have a deadline. I've been writing a story on it every day.
Okay.
And
That's
then
good.
I meet with a group on Thursdays and read it.
Okay. And are they enjoying it? They're like, oh, this is great.
They love it. And then I go back and rewrite it because I realize I can tell it better, so when I do it with them, I go, okay. And then I rewrite it on Friday and Thursday. I go to Thursdays, read it out to them. Then I come back. It's all successful writers. And then I come back, rewrite that story, and then write a new one for the next week each time.
This is the kind of thing I love to read. So I cannot wait until this comes out.
You will love it because it is, I would love to read it.
That's awesome.
Because it's like, I have great Ramones stories. I have great Pantera stories. I have
my son would die for the Ramones story.
Yeah, I have great stories of Joey Ramone. Dee Dee, I have great stuff of that. I have great stuff of, like doing acid with Michael Stipe. I have all these things,
oh my God, I can't wait.
Like, it's just like all these crazy things, not just like the Courtney Love story, which we did,
yes.
There's ones where I was actually there witnessing. I was there for some historical moments that happened in rock and roll that I was actually there for.
people would love these behind the scenes glimpses or point of view, your point of view of these stories that maybe they know about.
Right. And we're like, oh, that was the thing. And, like, that's really interesting, like, yeah, because I lived like, yeah, the 90s at the Palace. I saw every single show and was there and got to meet every single band and got to go out backstage or go to parties with them, or bands when they had record release, because I was their favorite bartender, would take me to their parties and stuff. And I've been kidnapped by Motley Crue, and I've been doing all that stuff. I was kidnapped by them. And when I saw what happened backstage, it was worse than Caligula.
Oh, wow. Release this book. Come on. What's it going to be called? Do we have a potential
Well, right
name?
now the working title is Confessions of a Bartender, but I don't think that's going to be the title.
Okay.
Confessions of a Hollywood Bartender. You know what I mean? So I just kind of want
Yeah.
it. I got
Right.
But it's like, what would you do in this situation? It's not, I didn't want it to be a tattle book about people being dicks.
Sure.
I wanted it to be, what would you do in this situation? This is what I did.
But there'll probably be dick stories too. Oh, probably both
There's
kinds,
plenty
like
of dick
Caligula.
stories.
But
There's plenty of stories that are people that aren't nice, and then there's plenty of ones that people surprised you that you wouldn't think would be as cool as they were.
Were the Ramones cool? That way I can tell my son.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Okay. You're wearing a Ramones shirt.
And
You
just
wouldn't know.
like, you could see how much Joey Ramone and Marky hated each other, but
Yeah.
he was cool because I looked up to him so much. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I love them so much that he could sense that, like, how can you be mean to that? I mean, there are actors that have been mean to that when I went up and complimented them about something and blew me off, but there are ones, like, he was cool about it. And then you look back and you have regrets. Like, I have regrets of being, like, towing the line and not going against my work. Like, I was going to work and Joe Strummer, who's my idol, asked me for my Palace shirt. I should have took it off. He goes, "I'll trade you shirts." And I was like, I have to work.
Oh, no.
Like, why wouldn't I just give him the shirt? Work would have let me go with that and gave me another shirt. But I was
And
like,
he would have been like, look what I did. Yeah, they would have been
I
happy.
would have had his shirt.
Oh,
and I didn't say yes to it. Like,
still a good story anyway.
Yeah, but it's not as cool as having that shirt.
That's true. You have it framed.
The Clash. I mean, my God.
But you have the memory of the shirt. It's better. I know.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, and it's just like, yeah, all those stories are like, they're so maddening and crazy on things that had happened that I was like, oh my God, someone, because everybody was begging me to write it. Like,
so glad you are.
that scene that I invite to things that happen. And I'm like, all right. And now that I'm writing it, I don't know how to edit it, because I mean, I know I'm going to edit a lot of stories out of it, but
yeah.
You write too, Ian?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. I went to film school and everything, but I don't write.
Because the only thing I do is, like, I don't mind editing stuff. Like, if it's not going to make the play or the book or the screenplay, I go, it'll make something else. So I'll put it in another folder.
That's a good idea.
Or I could tell you a story that's not in the book, that didn't make the book, when the book comes out, whatever.
Do you promise to share other stories when the book comes out? And then I'll read the book too.
Yeah.
Well, I guess normally at this point, I'd say we'd be wrapping it up. I'd say anything to promote. The book is coming, everyone. We'll wait to see what the title is.
Yes.
But
right now, Confessions of a Bartender, for sure.
Anything else you want to promote? Any projects coming up? Check out his short film, which is, and you have others, I think, as well. Yeah. But I'm a Cat, which I have a clip from, but they can see it on your website.
Yes. I'm a Cat is good. I liked making that. That was fun. I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm going to do a series of one acts in November.
Okay.
Of 3 one acts
in LA.
Okay. And it's just one of those things where I want to play characters that I'm going for now. I might as well put them on stage.
Oh, that's a great idea.
you know, so I'm going to put them on stage. So I have this one called Death and Breakfast that I wrote. That's very much like a Black Mirror, Twilight Zone type thing.
So not funny.
No, it's funny too.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I can't not have comedy in it, but it's definitely gonna make you think. And I have 3 of these that I'll just put up. That'll be easy for me, and
Awesome.
and I keep it simple so I could do it in New York. I always, if I'm doing a stage show, I have to be able to pack it up in a backpack.
If it comes to New York, I want to see it because I'm only an hour from New York.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm gonna bring it to New York.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
For
gonna
sure.
okay.
If
I'm gonna Facebook
not,
friend you. If
I
you'll
always have a
accept.
theater in Hell's Kitchen that I like to do it in. That's fine.
Okay.
You know,
I'll come.
so I will do it there. But I will let you know. And yeah, and you know, I'm hoping, you know, I'm supposed to be a part of an HBO show that's not going to go until January now.
Okay. Well,
So if that happens, that would be my ticket. So, but I can't really talk about it. So until that happens, you know what I mean? And it's just
yeah,
like,
of course. NDAs
I'm putting it
and all
down
that
the
fun
ether
stuff.
that it better happen. But
It better
was gonna
happen.
sooner. I thought it was going to happen sooner, but
Okay.
yeah, that's all right now.
That's
Other than
amazing.
auditioning, you know, plugging away.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that those big opportunities keep coming and they surprise you and you do get the opportunities that you don't think you'll get again, but you will.
Yeah, that's what we all hope for. You know,
Yeah.
I like it. I like that that it's always you know, it's like it's not playing the lottery, it's playing something that you can control somewhat.
You
But
don't
it
know what's
gives you
around the next corner, which is
yeah, it's
exciting.
hope. It gives you hope. Like even when things are bad, it could turn around in a second.
And this is from someone that's been in it for 30 years. And like
Yeah.
I haven't been doing it as long, but I still get so excited for things. You never know. And so disappointed by things.
You get disappointed. Yeah, I don't
That's a part of
recommend
it.
the disappointment to anybody. You get callous on it. You're able to
Sure.
recover quicker.
Yes.
I mean, there was things that I didn't get that we could go into another time where it took me years to get over.
Or
Years.
things that maybe you made, but maybe you got cut out of, maybe, or that those things sting and they stay with you a while.
Stay with you a while. Yeah. I don't necessarily mind being cut out of something. I have been before.
You know, it's
but
part of it.
It's part of the thing, but I got like a thing that I was promised and was supposed to do and then didn't get it. And I'm fine. I'm fine.
Sure.
Like say you and I audition for something and your audition's better.
Mhm.
Totally fine with that. I wasn't good enough or I wasn't right enough. You were more right for it or you were better in the room.
That's the way I
fine.
see it.
But
It's
when
not a
I was promised
competition.
something, my audition, everything was better than what they cast.
Yeah.
I'm crushed.
Of course.
I'm like, why? I don't get it. What
Yeah.
happened? Like, what are they? But
That's
you know,
hard.
I went and saw something recently, which I won't say what it was, but
What was it?
yeah, it was a movie. It's a movie that's out now that just got released. And I championed the movie because I saw the web series.
Okay.
And I loved it. You know, I thought it was hilarious.
Mhm.
And I met the actors on it. They made the movie and didn't cast the web series
Oh, that's
people.
Yeah.
And then I said, "Oh, they're making the movie." And I went up to the girl and she goes, "They are?"
One of the other
The
people in
lead,
it.
right? Yeah. And then the
Oh.
girl that's in it isn't a star, but wasn't any better.
That's,
you know, was worse.
it's like, why?
Wasn't funny. She took out all the kinds of comedy. She wasn't funny. And I was like, why didn't they? And then I went up to the filmmakers afterwards and I go, why didn't you? And they go, oh, the casting director wanted somebody else, didn't want her. And we auditioned her. And then I go, no, you didn't. Because I already know what happened.
You spoke to her.
You're lying.
So
to
crappy.
me. You're lying to me. And that sucks.
My brother,
I get it, losing it to a star. I get it.
Of course, yeah, because that
film and get it
money
distributed. I understand that. I hate it. I'd rather, even you as a fan, I'm sure when you go to the movies or watch a movie or a TV show,
sure,
you'll go see a movie because you like an actor because they're in it. But most of the time, it's the story and the performance you don't need to go, oh my God, it's this person again playing another. Like, I'd rather be lost in a new person.
I agree. I totally agree. My brother did a workshop of Elf, the Broadway show, as it was becoming a Broadway show in New York, and the role was his. He was Elf, and I guess they took a hiatus. It was a couple of months off before it was going to start up on Broadway, and he found out from one of the trades that he had been replaced. Like, they didn't even tell him in a correct way that, oh yeah, we had to, we changed it out. Someone else is going to play the part. But it was just so crappy. It's like,
that's so evil, and it's so disappointing. And one of the things I wish they would do for actors, and they don't, and I don't understand why. It's when you audition for something, you can have your rep call and see if it's cast sometimes, or like you really thought, am I still in the mix? You can do that, but
sure.
They should have a website, like a thing that they have to check off. They don't have to tell you who they cast.
Yeah.
They could just say cast, not cast yet. So you could still have hope. So you're not like, like this. So it's a Friday. You're not wondering over the weekend. You still have hope.
Yeah.
And then you could just check it and just go, all right, it's cast. Fine. Move on to the next.
Move on.
But they say move on anyway, but it's really hard when you think you got it. And I just think it's to be so nice. I go, it's not any work. Just go check.
It's just
just make an app, a check app, the thing on a website.
That could be your breakthrough. You could create it.
Yeah.
I was pinned for something just a few weeks ago. I'm like, oh, cool, I'm pinned. Pinned could mean a few other people are up for it.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks after I got pinned, I'm still pinned for it. A friend of mine, I'm on this like Zoom call with him. He's like, oh, I got an email from casting. Oh, they want me to audition for this role. I'm like, that's the role I'm pinned for. And I was just like, oh, like 2 weeks after they finally released my pin, which is, c'est la vie.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
But pinned is great. You did.
Yeah, it's a win. It's a win.
You did your work. Yeah, that's great. And they really like you. So it's very, very cool. But yeah, I think if we could just check it, it would be so great.
Okay, so Mike is
tell me who got it. Yeah,
Mike is working on his book. He's going to come up with his check system for actors, and look out for him in this other project he can't tell us about that might happen. Okay. Thank you, Mike, for your time. Stick around for 2 seconds. Everyone, share, go to Mike-Rad.com to see his clips and his credits. And you've been in so many more things than I even slightly got to cover today. But I'm excited to read your book. Hang on for 1 second. Bye, everyone.